I'm here to talk about justice. And when I was asked to speak about justice and what justice is, I thought, why in the world did they choose me? Because I'm not the authority on it. I'm not a judge. I'm not law enforcement. I work in social services. So what do I know about justice? But I'm going to give it my best shot. And learning from my mentor, Michael, I Googled it. So whenever I'm asked to speak about anything I don't know much about, I do research and Google stuff. So is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it a way we live our life? And so thanks to Webster's Dictionary, which FYI is online, it's administering law or authority, a quality of being fair and reasonable, or a fair behavement or treatment of others. And so, as you can see from the definition, if you're anything like me, that helped me not at all to understand what justice is. So I started to think about, well, what does it mean to me, and why exactly does Lark Song and Circles want me to talk about it? So to me, justice is about taking the right action on something. I'm not a person that kind of sits back and waits for things to happen. So for me, it's something of the soul. It's like a gut feeling that tells you this is the right or wrong thing to do. And it doesn't matter where you come from, right? What your faith is, where you're at regionally, where you were born. Justice is just a gut feeling about what is right. It's following a basic human morality or decency, honoring human life and condition, and trying to stand for people who may not be capable, able, or have enough courage to stand for themselves. So I collect quotes. If you don't like quotes, sorry, this is probably not going to be a presentation for you. So I went back through all the quotes that I collect over my life, and I found this one from President Theodore Roosevelt. And it says, Justice consists of not being neutral between right and wrong, but finding out the right, upholding it whenever found against the wrong. And I purposely picked pictures, as Andrew specifically said, I enjoy photography. And yay, selfies. This is a picture of me and my good friend Kylie, who, thank the Lord, I live and work next door to now. Well, not live, but we kind of feel like we live next door. And if you're from this area, these are the really cool planters all around the square. And Kylie, huh? Oh, okay. I thought I said something wrong, my bad. Okay, so they're all around the square downtown, and Kylie and I take care of 2 of them by our office. So we go and we plant the flowers, and we weed them, and we take out the trash that everybody decides to leave in them because apparently they think they're trash cans. And you may think, why exactly does planting flowers have to do with justice? Well, when people leave their trash in the planters, that's not the right thing to do. And removing it doesn't get us any credit. We do it because it's the right thing to do. It makes the planters look nice. It makes our community look nice. And I think Kylie and I kind of both hope if people see us doing that they'll think, oh, well, they actually take care of that planter. Maybe I can throw my Polar Pop in a trash can. So we just do it because it's the right thing to do, right? So my question then became, well, if that's justice to me, and I believe that being just is seeing life from others' points of view as well, right? So maybe the person's running to get on the bus and they don't have time to throw their Polar Pop away, and so they just set it in our flower pot. I don't know why they put it there. But as I was going through this, Emily, I did this presentation, kind of see how I was doing, and she said, you need to read your quote on this page, because I had no plans of reading this quote. And it says, I have a belief that if we take the time to see life from others' points of view, we are able to make just decisions, right? Okay, FYI, I wrote that. Yay, I have my own quote. How cool is that? Okay, so, and I paired that thought process with this picture of my son. This is number 7, for anyone who was wondering. And Emily also told me you need to tell the story of the picture. So in this picture, we were walking along a creek, and I told my kids, we're out hiking. No, you can't play in the water. It's spring. It's cold. What are you thinking? You're going to get muddy. Then your feet are going to be wet. It's going to suck to walk back. And all of those things that a mom says to ruin the fun, right? So then I looked at it from Gavin and Hunter's point of view. Hunter's number 3. He's a little younger than Gavin. And I thought, there could be sticks. They could scratch their feet. They could get wet feet, and it'll suck to walk back. But from their point of view, they just wanted to enjoy jumping in the creek, right? They just wanted to have fun. And so I said, all right, fine, who cares? Jump in the creek, have a good time. So they jumped in the creek. FYI, we picked a sandbar area so they wouldn't get cuts on their feet. So I feel like in that moment, I was able to make a just decision for my children about an experience that they were going to have, a memory that they were going to make. Even though it didn't fit with what I knew they were going to experience later, because their feet did get wet and gross, and then they didn't want to wear their shoes. And I'm like, well, either you wear your shoes or you walk in the woods barefoot. Have fun with that. So they did learn a lesson. We now carry water shoes with us when we go hiking at my uncle's house in the backpack that I carry. Yay. Okay, so back to this story. If we take time to see justice from other people's points of view, the point is that you can actually start to build your own internal compass. You can find your true north, and you can start making just decisions because people know where you stand. They get where you are. And justice is home to several ideas. So when I did my research and Googled it, social responsibility, teamwork, leadership, fairness. I started to see, oh, okay, I never think I'm the smartest person in the room. So I always have teamwork because there's always somebody that knows how to do it better than me. Social responsibility, well, since Kylie and I plant flowers and clean flower pots and stuff like that, I guess we're kind of socially responsible. And I've pretty much built my entire life on fighting for others who don't have a voice. I graduated from Manchester College with a degree in political science. My father will tell you it's basically underwater basket weaving because you're never going to get a job with a political science degree. I worked for a congressman for over 10 years doing constituent casework, where I literally fought for people against the government in Social Security, Medicare, FDA, CDC, Department of Education, IRS. Yay, fun stuff. So, and the whole time it was about being that inlet for someone who thought, oh my gosh, the government is so much bigger than I am. So we talk about just treatment, treating others equally. You can call it the golden rule. You can call it whatever you need to call it. But basically, it's all about how do I want to be treated, and I want to make sure others are treated that way by me. So here's another fun quote. Who doesn't love Gloria Steinem, right? Yeah, who doesn't know who Gloria Steinem is, by the way? If you are a female, shame on you, Google her. She's awesome, right? Okay. So Gloria Steinem fought for women's rights, women's lib, that kind of thing. Super awesome lady. Probably part of the reason why I'm able to have the job I do. Whenever one person stands up and says, wait a minute, this is wrong, it helps others do the exact same thing, right? And oddly enough, I paired it with baseball. Yay. Story of my life. So this is my son's baseball team, and I chose this picture to go with that quote because this team was 0-12 in their season going into the tournament. And we had heard other kids and other parents. My son's a pitcher, so parents can be really mean to pitchers and catchers, FYI, which I don't do well, which is why I always stand out alone. And because he's 12 and it's not the World Series, right? Okay, So anyway, they were 0-12 going into the tournament. We heard other kids saying, oh, it's going to be easy to beat them. They're horrible. They can't, play, blah, blah, blah. And their coach had told them all year, don't play to win, play to play tomorrow. Because if you love baseball, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you're just playing to play tomorrow. And one of the kids stood up in the dugout and said, and I sit on the dugout side away from all the other parents. So he stood up and he said, Coach is right. We're all here because we love baseball and we get to play baseball. How cool is that? So let's not worry about whether we win or lose. Let's just play to play tomorrow. And they did, and they won. And they did, and they won. And they did, and they won. And FYI, they had a whole lot of fun beating the kids that told them they were going to be easy to beat, right? It's a little hard to keep Gavin's ego under control. So they ended up third in the tournament on a bad call at home plate, but, poor umpires. They get the raw end of the deal every time. So anyway, for me, justice is a way of life. It's a way of being. It's not a one-time deal. It's who you are. You cannot be a just and unjust person at the same time. And we all have to make the decision to decide whether we want to be that, because if we build our society on a culture that is just, that you can say, well, I may not always agree with the decision they make, but they make just decisions. We start to build a culture that is a best place to live. I want to live in a just world. I want to live in a just society. And we start to have a safe space. We start to be able to be vulnerable with each other. We start to have the hard conversations, and we're able to share a common purpose. We slowly become a village of people that just want to be together, and we focus on that, treating others as we would be treated, and it creates a just society, and it creates a just society, not just a society. So to me, that's what justice is.